This is your go-to podcast for the breaking news across the NFL, while breaking down how this might affect your fantasy team's success. Are you ready to be a champ? Then welcome to Fields of Fantasy.
Welcome to DFS with Fields of Fantasy. It's your boy Dowie, and I am riding solo tonight. Johnny B is still AWOL, and Josh, to be fair to Josh, he was available yesterday when we was meant to record, but I had a concert, so I had to record tonight where I was busy, so that's my bad. But Josh will be back next week, and who knows, we may hear from Johnny B. So it's week 10 of DFS with Fanteam. 18 plus, gamble, be aware. When the fun stops, please stop. So, week 9 was a bad week for me personally. Didn't do very well. It's one of my lowest scoring weeks. I was nowhere near the money. But, in the £2 competition, Magna Oster, 22, scored 222 points and got £294. In the £10 competition, James Lambourne won with £223, got £821. This week is a good week, actually. With the Vegas lines on the betting odds, we've got the Rams and the 49ers at the top with 49.5 in total, and also the Bills Dolphins 49.5. But there's 4 games at 48.5, which is Falcons and the Colts, Ravens and the Vikings, Pats v Tampa, and Lion and the Commanders. So there's not really a standout game. There might be ones you personally prefer. I quite like the Vikings and the Ravens, and the Pats and Tampa. They're 2 games I think could blow up. I think the Bills might be one of them high scoring but one-sided games. Rams and 49 as well could be a shootout. So yeah, it's an exciting week. Plenty of action on Fanteam. That's our DFS game of choice. They've got the £2, £10 and £75 competition. Big prizes to be won, biggest in England and Europe. So let's get into my picks. At quarterback, I think there's plenty of good options this week. I'm personally going with JJ McCarthy at 13.7 million. I think he looked really good on his return last week. Ravens have allowed 8th most points to quarterbacks, and I think he's the best value quarterback on the slate. Now, there'll be an argument for Josh Allen, Lamar, but they're all about 6-7 million more. I think Drake May at 18.2 is interesting, and I think Baker's pretty good value, to be honest, at 15.9. But yeah, I am going to go with JJ McCarthy this week. Also, there was a cheaper option. So a few weeks people have won this way. They've gone with 2 bad teams playing each other. They've gone Bryce Young, Tyler Shaw. They're 13.5, 13.6. But I'm a lot more confident in JJ McCarthy at 13.7. But that is an option you could take if you want to save money. And I don't think they'll be heavily owned. So that's quite a good way to look at it, go against everybody else. In the running back game, I've gone with 2 running backs this week. I think last week was the first week I went with 3 running backs and it bit me in the arse. So I've gone back to my 2-1. I've gone with Rico Dowdle, 15.4. Saints ranked 10th worst against the run. Out of 3 out of 5 starts, he's had over 30 points since taking over as RB1. So we know he scores high in that offense. I think the volume should be high this week, and it'll be a close scoring game, so I don't think you'll see them chucking the ball heavily. It'll probably be a run first game, which will be pretty good. 15.4, pretty good value, I believe. My second one, now, he's questionable, but he has trained this week, and I think he's good to go. He's Judkins, 12.2. Browns are run heavy team, playing Jets, who are in full tank mode now. We must have all seen the news that they've traded Sauce Gardner, their best cornerback. They then went and traded Quincy, their defensive tackle, and Quinny Williams. And yeah, I think now they are looking to get the first pick, and they are stocked up in picks. So he's a tank mode. So I think Judkins, and we know Browns are a run heavy team. They are always best on attack when they run. So I really like Judkins this week. Few other options I think is you could go with CMC. That's going to be a high scoring, but it's 20 million. I don't like A-Chain at 17.9. Gibbs against Washington will be good. Bucky Irving, pretty good. James Cook, I think, is a good price, 14.7 as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Judkins and Rico Dowdle this week. Wide receivers now. I feel like I've picked 4 wide receivers at excellent value, and I actually think these could be the reasons why I could get in the money this week. So, I've gone with Jefferson. Obviously, you're going to think I've gone JJ McCarthy. It's quite an obvious pick. But at 15.4 million, I'm not too sure if we'll ever see him at this price again. We know the Ravens allow points. Jefferson already looked better last week, and I believe it will just get better, and the price will raise. So I think Jefferson in a high-scoring game, you gotta love that. I've also took a little punt on Zay Flowers, 13.1. Lamar back last week. Ravens are actually looking better the last couple of weeks. They've gone from 1-5 to 3-5. So yeah, Zay Flowers in a high-scoring game. I always like to bring another weapon back from my quarterback and wide receiver. So Zay Flowers with Lamar is my choice. 13.1 as well, so it's quite reasonable priced. I've also gone with Abuka, 12.4 million. That game I actually do really fancy as a shootout. I think Drake May against Baker, they could just throw the ball. 12.4 million is an excellent price. You're saving a lot of money and you're getting a wide receiver who could score high. The ceiling is massive on someone like Abuka. So 12.4, he's probably my bargain of the week. When I was working my lineups out as well, I don't just go running back. I'd look at all the options, and I left my last wide receiver / running back, say flex play, to see what money I had. And to be honest with you, how I've done my team, I had enough money to get JSN, 19.7. Expensive, but if you got the money, go for it. He's already on 948 yards already this season. 4 touchdowns, a little bit low what you'd want, but he gets the yardage. He's the number 1 wide receiver, and he's had 6 games over 100 yards. It's a no-brainer. Now, is he someone I'm probably building my team around? I'm not too sure, but I think if you've got that money and you can fit him in, it's a safe bet, and he will probably be in that top 5 wide receiver. So if you could afford him, go for him. At tight end, like I just said with Avuka, I've got a sneaky feeling that game could be the shootout. Not confident in it, it's just my gut. So I've got a Tampa weapon. I need a Patriots weapon. I've gone with Hunter Henry, 10.2 million. I feel like he's Mr. Reliable for Drake May. Now we're seeing Douglas Diggs getting a lot more, but we've seen Hunter Henry go off, and as a tight end, it's a volatile position. So yeah, I like Hunter Henry in this matchup. I think he can hit the red zone and get at least 60 yards. So that's something I really like. And the ST, I think you got lots of options this week. Personally, I've gone with the Bills. Dolphins are in disarray, and I think the Bills they're probably looking the best team now. I guess someone will argue different, but I think the Bills are probably the best team in the NFL at the minute, and they're looking at momentum and they want to win that Super Bowl this year. So I have actually gone with the Bills at 7.9 million. I think at reasonable price. It's a defense what can pay. You're looking the most expensive of the Texans, which it's a good, but how many points are they gonna put up? The Lions against Washington. I don't think Mariota's all that bad. Patriots against Tampa, that's too high for a shootout. Rams against San Francisco, I don't really like that. Panthers against New Orleans, it's an option I like. Seahawks, Arizona, it's okay. But yeah, I actually feel a little bit more confident in the Bills. I think they're probably the best value play in defence. I'll go back to the positions because it's got a bit quick. But in terms of tight end, Trey McBride at 14.7, I don't really like. That's a bit expensive. Laporta 11.9, expensive. think Kincaid's a good choice at 10.8 because Buffalo should be able to put points. So that's probably after Henry who I would go next. And in the wide receiver category, obviously I've gone with the highest in JSN. Puka is a good choice. I like that. St. Brown is reliable. And then Jefferson. So, but yeah, Adams, Puka, that could be a good one. Oh, I'd stay away from Collins against Jacksonville. That offense wasn't ticking last week. Waddle against Buffalo I don't like. So, yeah, I feel like I've got two of the top 5 wide receivers this week. And then I feel like in at Buka, Zay Flowers, they can really push me on as well. So, quite confident for this week. I'd like to apologise for the short episode. It's just this week's been mad. But I'd like to get my picks out there and we'll be back to normal next week. So I hope everybody looks forward to week 10 and we'll be back better in week 11. Thank you.